Hey yo, what's going on everybody? It's Tylarious, aka Ty Killington. Yeah, man. Alright, today's video, talking about something very important. I want to make sure you guys pay attention, follow along, and make sure you finish this video all the way through, alright? I'm giving you guys a top 25 settings that you need to have changed for GTA 5 Online. Now, the way that I have my settings set, they will dramatically change the quality of your gameplay for the better. I know a lot of people just have all their settings on default. They don't even really know what to do and go through and what some of the stuff means. So I'm going to be showing you some examples of what some of these settings can do and what it looks like if they're turned on or turned off, all right? And please, guys, in the comments down below, if you got anything to add, let's help each other out. This is our community. Let's build it up, all right? So first, whether or not you're on console or PC, go into your options, go into settings, and on settings, you want to start out with controls. Let's take a look at that, all right? Now, while you're on controls, you can see right here where I have it highlighted, it says show controls for in-vehicle first person, creator, on-foot third person. Let's stick with on-foot third person for right now. You can kind of go back and readjust as you go. On my controller, I have my vibration turned off. This will help save batteries. I don't want my controller, fighting against me. But this is a disadvantage. You may want to keep it on because if you get close to like packages in the game or certain enemy players for PvP, it will vibrate for you. All right, my adaptive triggers I have turned off. Again, I don't want my buttons to be messing with me and fighting me. I use the alternate control type for first and first. What this does is it flips. My fire button is my top bumper. It's the R1 on the PlayStation console. All right. Now, if you're a PvP player, you may use a totally different type of controller layout, which will allow you to shoot, strafe, and not take your thumbs off the joystick. But that's not what we're talking about here. Okay. Your third person sensitivity, first person look around, first person aiming, and third person look around sensitivity, they all need to be maxed out. Max them all out, all the way up, okay? And let's go ahead, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Let's turn it all the way down for third person aiming sensitivity. What this does is, this is as fast as I can go left and right. It's very, very slow. And that is a disadvantage, all right? Now, what I recommend is maxing it all the way up and then scaling back to what you can handle, because this is where it's all the way maxed out. So I'm able to move as I'm aimed much quicker, left, right, up, down. That's a big advantage for any kind of like PvP or PvE against enemy NPCs. It definitely helps out. Let's take a look at the third person look around sensitivity. Again, max that all the way out. But when you have it all the way down, this is as far as my camera view will pan as I'm looking around, left, right, up, and down. And it's very slow. Very slow. So let's max it all the way back out, which is where I recommend. And now I'm able to move my camera in a look around free mode much quicker. I'm able to maneuver my character much faster. I can turn around. It's just better overall. All right, it really is. So definitely max all the way out. Scale back a little bit to where you get used to it, but still you want to max it all the way out. All right, your dead zone, put that all the way down. Dead zone's a little bit more difficult to show what it does, but just listen to me. Turn your dead zone all the way down, okay? Those need to be all the way down. Your third person aim, look, acceleration, first person aim, look, acceleration, those need to be all the way up. All the way up, all right? Let's turn them down to show you what it does. And this is what happens. When you turn it all the way down, it's a acceleration. So you start out really slow and then it speeds up. So when you're moving your camera around, it'll take several seconds before your acceleration speed will max itself out. So again, turn this all the way up and you don't have to worry about that delay or that lag. Last thing you want is any kind of lag in your movement and in your camera, okay? So next up, let's go all the way down to where it says allow movement when zoomed. Keep this on, okay? That means when you're zoomed, you can still move back and forth. I have my switch handbrake and hydraulics to off. My drive-by control type, I know some people just like to have it on fire. I prefer aim plus fire. That should be your default setting. But if not, put it to aim plus fire. The reason why is that you're able to be more precise while shooting while you're driving. And I think that's important. I'm able to aim. Right now I'm aiming and I'm not firing. So I can aim and just fire once to get a quick shot and I'm done. Plus, you can do other little things with aiming plus fire. Not that you're flipping the bird, but if you have a throwable, you can kind of prime or charge or aim your throwable before you let it go. Okay, for my audio, I'm a streamer, so my audio is pretty much all the way down. My SFX volume is down. That way, I can hear people in my chat or in my actual like game, session or whatever over the actual game itself. Everything else I have, but this is just totally just for if you're a streamer, maybe you want to do that. Turn this all the way down or whatever. If not, you can just customize it to however you'd like. All right, so moving on to camera, there's a few things I want you guys to check out here. Allow independent camera mode, just leave that off, that's fine, that should be default. Vehicle camera height, I believe default is low, and you guys should switch this to high. Again, personal preference, but I prefer high because it gives you more of a actual visual clearance. You can see more of the road when you're going through tunnels and things like that. This is what it looks like switching between low and high. You definitely want the high on there. Again, personal preference, but I would recommend putting your vehicle camera height to high. First person auto level camera, leave that on. That way when you look to the left, your camera will automatically center as you move back to the front. All right, first person on foot field of view. I leave that default in the middle. You can adjust that to your own personal liking though. First person ragdoll, I leave that on. I'm not the biggest PvP player in GTA 5, but the first person ragdoll, first person combat role, basically if you had that on, you remain in first person as you ragdoll or if you move around. So keep that in mind, okay? The first person head bobbing, leave that off. That helps out with motion sickness. First person, third person cover, I have that off. That way I remain in first person or third person when I take cover. So if you have it on, when you go into cover, you switch out to third person. Again, that may be a benefit to you if you're more of a PvP player. All right, same with the vehicle auto center. I have that on as well. That way the camera goes back automatically to center once you're done looking around. First person vehicle hood. Again, personal preference. If you are a pilot, if you do a lot of flying, you want the hood view because it's easier to aim. But if you enjoy the aesthetics of the vehicles and things like that, you'll want this turned off. So right now I have it on hood view. So the camera is basically mounted on the hood. Again, if you are flying, if you're like in a jet or if you use choppers a lot, you want to turn that on. If you don't, if you prefer just the interior view, if you like to enjoy the vehicle itself, you'll have it off. That way your actual camera is kind of like from the point of view of the actual character. First person drive-by camera relative to the vehicle, I believe that's default on. I just leave it the way it is. And again, if you kind of get confused or mixed up, you can just restore everything back to default down low and readjust on each one of these settings. All right. So going down to display, graphics mode, performance. This will give you the best frames per second. I always recommend performance. It's way better. It's much smoother, okay? Radar is on. My HUD is on. Weapon target is set to simple. Again, if you are a PvP free aim player, complex maybe the way you want to go. Complex will give you a crosshair. It's not as precise as the dot that you get by leaving it on the simple target format. And I prefer the actual simple weapon target. Now, simple reticle size, I have it up just one notch, all right? Let me turn the simple reticle size all the way up and show you what that dot looks like. It's much more visible, but you do lose some of your precision. Again, this is personal preference, right? If you have a harder time seeing that white aim dot, the simple aim reticle, turn it up. I'm going to turn it all the way down, and you see it's much more, it's more precise, but that dot is very easy to lose, especially while you're in the middle of a firefight. So I turn mine up just one notch. I think it's a fair compromise. It's still very precise, but now it's a little bit easier to see, and you can get your shots on target. GPS, leave it on route, just route on. Expanded radar, I have that off. You can, you can expand your radar just by, hitting the arrow keys to expand it. But I prefer it just to have it off, to have the smaller one. Player overhead display off. That way it doesn't clutter up my screen. Brightness, I have it turned up just a little bit so it'll be easier to see in the darker areas of the game. Motion blur strength, I turn that all the way off. That'll help you out dramatically. In-game depth of field effects, turn that off. Screen kill effects, that's personal preference. I leave it on just to have a little bit more, visual fun on there. Subtitles, I have that off. I don't want it to clutter my screen. Measurement system, I'm in the States, so Imperial, we use miles over here in feet. So there you have it, okay? For notifications, this can help you out with getting annoyed by all the people that are calling you up. I have my phone alerts on, stats alerts off, crew updates off, friend updates off. Social Club is on, though, for any kind of messages from Rockstar, I guess. PlayStation Store off. Tooltips I do have on. I don't know why, but I just have those on. And then message frequency, you can set that to be delayed all the way up to an hour. I'm not sure how effective that is, but there you have it, okay? So, guys, top 25 changes in the settings you need to make. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And again, if you got anything you want to add, leave it in the comments. Let's help each other out. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel for the most content in the game. Smash that like button. See you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out. Yeah.